Hi everybody. As you can see from the building back here, I made it home okay from Alabama. Actually filmed something last night because I got delayed on the interstate because there are two really serious wrecks, and I would say, judging by the damage, that probably there were maybe some fatalities. And I was going to talk about perspective, because when you get stuck on the interstate like that, your mind just starts thinking about negative, like, oh, I'm going to be late now, or get up to the wreck site, and it sort of changes your perspective on things. I think, well, I may be late, but at least I'm going to be home with my family, and that person didn't get a chance to. So I filmed this last night, and I went to bed. We got up at 2:30, tornado sirens going off. Got our stuff together, got ready to shelter. Luckily, the small tornado that was near us went north of us. We don't have any damage around us that I'm aware of. But then woke up this morning to what happened out in western Kentucky. So, model railroading is an escape, and I don't want to be a downer, but if your biggest problem is your sound engine isn't running well, you have a pretty blessed life. And let's try to keep things in perspective. And if you want to help the people who were touched last night, probably Red Cross is a good way to do it. I'm sure Toyota is going to come up with a matching funds donation thing. They do that. They're a very good company to do that anytime they have a tragedy like this. I lived in Mayfield, Kentucky. That's where I lived before I started at Toyota. I'm from Ohio, but I moved around quite a bit, so I know what type of town that is and what type of people live there. And it's a real tragedy to have that many people die in one place. So let's go on to something more positive and do some switching. Morning, everybody. Grab a cup of coffee and a donut or three, and let's do some switching. Okay, you made it to part 4. So we're just don't have a whole lot of work left to do. We just finished respotting the car on the team track. So now we have to switch out Miller Distribution. One car to pick up, one car to drop off. And we've got that car right at the end of the train. It's a Burlington Northern car, so reefer. I tend to call refrigerated boxcars reefers. Whether that's correct or not, I'm not sure. I know they have mechanical reefers now. They don't use ice like they used to. So we had to run through the crossover, get over to the main. So the first thing we have to do is pull the Seaboard Coastline boxcar from the spur. It's actually my second take
recording this, or the narration for this. The first one was on the back porch, and Ferdinand was out there just bugging me to death. So I replayed it, and his bell and meowing were very distracting. So I just came inside and shut myself in the train room. So now we're going to couple that boxcar onto the train we have left sitting on the main from Oak Hill. And we pull back across Douglas, and we're going to push the Burlington Northern car into the loading dock. Okay, apart from putting the train back together and heading to the yard, the switching is done. All the customers are happy. But we have to go back and pick up the 2 cars we left on the siding that we pulled from General Chemical. Yeah, I forgot to throw the turnout for the siding. Luckily, I caught it before I started heading down the siding. I made some adjustments to the speed settings on the locomotive today, and I like them. But when I did that, I actually lost the bell before I started switching, before I realized it. That's why you didn't hear the bell in this video at all. But all you have to do is unplug the controller for about 10 seconds and plug it back in. The bell comes back. And I've already done that, so everything's fine. The thinking is that if I reduce the maximum speed of the locomotive, that the engine revs will correspondingly go up, trigger sooner. Don't know if that's going to work or not, but it doesn't hurt to adjust the maximum speed, because I'm never going to go 60 miles an hour on my layout. So we're heading back to the yard. I've got a very short, less than 30 seconds at the end of this. Just a little picture of, I went in, I loaded up the next train for JMRI to see what would happen if I was going to have variation in the switching, or if I was going to keep leaving out the same industry every time, or whatever. So I said I'm going to have to run this 4 or 5 times before I see what if there's any pattern. So I'll share that at the end with you when the train disappears underneath the overpass. This is the preview for the next train, and JMRI. I went ahead and loaded it up, and as you can see, it's giving me some variation. Chillicothe, I'm going to switch Union Spring, not Wherever, and General Chemical, and ITT Grinnell, and Miller Distribution. And in Oak Hill, I'm going to switch Cedar Heights Clay and Davis Firebrick, still not the scrapyard. So I'm going to keep an eye on it, but so far I'm encouraged with the amount of variation this is giving in JMRI. So everybody stay safe.